There was a request on Tuesday night for us to please go over the last question of Tuesday night, which was calculate the tax payable. I hope you guys are okay with me going over this and finishing this question off. All right, so we had a tax table and we were looking at the annual tax payable for this person. Let's go up to the scenario quickly. So there's the scenario. This 9-day 53-year-old earns a gross income of 39,486 per month. And also there's a non-taxable monthly deduction of 7.5% from her salary and paid to her pension. Now, we know that pensions are non-taxable, but they're also telling us that it's non-taxable as well. So we can't pay tax on that amount, whatever it is. Okay, so we've got to remove it first. All right, now you can remove it on the annual salary before you go into the tax table, or you can remove it on the monthly and then times by 12. It's up to you. So we started this question first, and the first thing we did was to work out the annual salary. All right, so there we go. There's our annual salary in the first line here. We said take the monthly salary times it by 12, and this gave us an annual amount there. Okay. Then in the second line here, we said work out what is 7.5 for the pension, 7.5% for the pension. We said what is 7.5% of the annual, all right, this annual figure here. And we said it is 35,537. We said, okay, then we got to take it off. We can't tax it. So we took that amount off in the third line here, and that left us with an annual salary that is taxable because we took the non-taxable portion off, because you can't go into the table with that. So we took off the non-taxable portion, and it left us here with a salary that is taxable. Okay, now we are going to take this taxable annual salary and go into the tax table, right? So remember this number, 438,294, 438,000. Which bracket, ladies and gentlemen, does that put us into in the tax table? 438,000. Which bracket? There it is. These are all the brackets in the tax table. Which bracket does it put us into? Yep, well done. So that puts us in bracket 3, okay, which is this one over here. All right, so we need to work with this calculation here. All right, so I'm gonna write this down at the bottom again. So it's 70,532 plus 31%. All right, so I'm gonna write it down here. So it's 70,532 plus 31% of the amount above, the amount above, what was the amount? 337,800. All right, I'm going to write it like this, just over here, the amount above 337,800. Okay, so that is the calculation we need to use here. All right, so let's do this step by step now. So I need to work out the amount above 337 we are. So this 438,000 that we have that is taxable, how much is that above? What do I need to do? What math do I need to do here? Everyone can just type it in chat. What do I do? Razan, you may be excused, but I hope you come back. I hope you come back. Please, you're welcome to go, but please try and come back. Tandro, 175,000. Have we got the answer already? Sure. What do I need to do? What math do I need to do? That's no problem, Razan. I've got to find the amounts above 337,000. How much is this 438,000 above 337,000? So what math do I need to do there? You can type it in chat quickly. What mathematical sum do I do in there, in that bracket? How do I work out that amount? Somebody. Tehran's already done it. Okay, so we need to subtract, right? We got to subtract it. So let me just write it in here. Let's just put this in here and shrink it a little. All right, I'm going to put that in there and shrink it a little, and then I'm going to take this and put it in here and shrink it a little to fit it in. There we go. It's not going to fit. Let's move this. All right, there we go. And this will go up here, and we need to subtract them, right? So that's how we found the amount that's above. So let's do that first. I think Turan's already done it, but let's check. So 438,294.6 minus 337,800. 337,800. There we go. Let's check. Whoop. Right, we've got 100,000 here. Got 100,000. Okay. So it's 100,494. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this line. And we'll go to the next step. All right. So this equals, and now this amount, the amount that we are above 337,000 is 100,494 and 60 cents. 100,494 and 60 cents. Okay. Now we need 31% of that, and of means times. So I need to do this step now. Okay. So 31% of that. So what does that look like? That's 31 over 100 times 100, 494.6, I think. 494.6. Yep. And that gives us 31,153,326. 31,153,326. All right. So this is where we are. 31,153 and 326 cents. Now, I'm not going to round that off yet. Remember, we always round off at the end, and we don't actually need these brackets now because we just need to add these two up. Ooh, we don't even need to do that. All right, so we just need to add these up and get the final value. So I'm going to take that value on the calculator as it is. I'm going to say plus it to 70,532. And that gives me 101,685,326. 101,685,326, which we can round off to 101,685,33. All right, so that is how much tax this person is going to pay. It's all right, Trent, don't worry. It's all right. Don't worry, I make mistakes all the time as well. Dilshad, don't stress. Load shedding is a thing. Guys, load shedding is real. Who knows what stage we're at the moment? It seems like Eskom wants to round our stages up to the nearest 10. That's what it seems like they're trying to do. All right, we're at stage 6 or 7 or 8. They just want to round us up to 10 or something. I don't know. But that is the annual tax that is payable. Let's see the question. Calculate Ms. Nandi's annual tax payable. That is the annual tax payable over there. All right, so that is the final answer there. 101,685,33. Yes, Tando. Good job. All right, so that's how we do that question. So the difficult part in this question compared to any normal standard tax question was that we had to take care of the pension part, right, which is this part over here. Okay, so these two steps here, work out the 7.5% of the annual salary and then take off that 7.5% to give us an annual salary that is taxable. Okay, so if you pension funds and medical aids are non-taxable, so you should remove them. Don't leave them in your salary before you go to the tax table. It's got to come out. The rest is taxable, and then you go into your tax table with that figure. Okay, any questions about this one? Are we all good? Can we move on to measurement conversions? I know it's a bit of a switch. All good out there? Tando. Tando, that hand went up. Was it a hand? All right. Please feel free at any time, guys. Pop that hand up if you have a question, and we can unmute you and you can ask your questions. All right. Anytime. But that is how we answer that question. All right. I don't even know if Ben is on tonight. He's the one that really wants to do. Well, there's a couple of other people as well. All right. Let's move on to measurement conversions. Here we go. Nice and easy compared to tax tables. You've seen this before. There's a recipe. No problem, Ben. There's a recipe. It says Zulega has a catering service and has an order to make eclairs. Oh my gosh. Eclairs, guys. Don't just correct me if I'm wrong here, but aren't eclairs those really cool pastries, like a nice pastry with fresh cream in the middle and then chocolate all over the top? Whoa, that's making me hungry now. All right, eclairs. This is a recipe for eclairs. One batch makes 25. I think this is going to be important. One batch makes 25. We got a preparation method, and that takes 25 minutes. I think that's going to be important. And then obviously we've got the ingredients here, which we're probably going to use. And then we have some instructions here. I don't know if they'll ask us about that. All right, Viva, don't stress. It's probably load shedding. It's causing chaos on the networks. All right, so those are the the instructions there. I don't know if they'll ask questions on that, but they could. And then down here we have at the bottom, bake in preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius for 45 minutes. When I see degrees Celsius, I'm sure they're going to ask us a degree Celsius to Fahrenheit conversion. They usually do in this section. Okay, so that's most of the information. Anything else? Oh, here we go. You may use the following. Oh, here we go. Some conversions over here at the bottom. We're probably going to need those too. So that's all information highlighted there that's pertinent to this question. Let's see what they're going to ask us. I mean, what can they ask us? It's conversions. Determine how many cups of oil will be used if Zulega wants to make 3 batches of eclairs. How many cups of oil for 3 batches of eclairs? This makes 1 batch. This recipe on your screen in front of you makes 1 batch. How many cups of oil? All right, anybody? Anybody got an idea? Somebody?
Somebody. I was fighting with my mic. I was just like, unmute, unmute, unmute.
So you gotta be sharp because it just pops up anytime. You're like, oh, I've got to speak.
I see we have Khabo on the line. Just check for a message on your screen, Khabo. There we go.
Hi, sir.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
Good. Nearly at the end of trials, eh?
Yeah.
Sure. You must be
Taking
tired.
grades, yeah, but it's fun.
All right. What do we do? I need 3 cups of oil. It's for it's for 3 batches. This recipe is for 1 batch.
So you have to say 125 mils of oil times 3.
Okay.
And
yeah, let me just quickly do that. So that should give me 375, if I'm not mistaken. So 125 times 3 gives me 375. I'm with you.
And then you have to divide that by 250 because 250 mils equals 1 cup.
Good. So there's 250 mils in 1 cup. We got 375. So we want to know how many 250 mils do we have in here. So if I want to work out how many 250 mils I have in 375, I divide it by 250. Because each one of those 250s is 1 cup. So think of it like this. When you are cutting the 375 up into 250s, each one is 1 cup. Okay, so think of it like that. All right. So this is going to give us 375. Let's do it in a fraction so we can see. So 375 divided by 250, and that gives me 1.5. All right, and it's 1.5 cups. Thank you, Gabo. Excellent, good work. That's 1.5 cups of oil needed. Okay, so let me take this and we'll squeeze it down there by the question. All right, next question. Determine the total cost of eggs for one batch if Zuleika bought a dozen eggs for $14.99. Determine the total cost for the eggs for this recipe for one batch if she bought a dozen at $14.99. So let's go to the recipe. There it is. I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to try and work this out, and then we'll check our answers afterwards. Okay. All right. So I'm going to write the information over here. It's $14.99 for one dozen. It's $14.99 for one dozen. Yep. We need to know how much is it going to cost for the eggs for this batch. All right. 2 minutes and you should have this done. Nice and easy. Conversions is easy, guys, compared to tax tables. $14.99 for one dozen. How much will it cost for 3 eggs? Should take you a minute or two. Everyone can do this. Everyone can do this. We should see answers popping out in chat or thumbs up to say you're done. It should be quick, quick, quick. $14.99 for one dozen. How much will it cost for these 3 eggs in the recipe? Shouldn't take you guys long. We should see answers popping up there. Answers are coming through. Answers are coming through. Everybody should be doing this one. Nice and easy. Back in the shallow water now. No longer deep waters like tax tables. All right, answers are coming through thick and fast. Yes, well done, well done. Answers are coming in. Good job. Everybody should be doing this one. Nice and easy. Emily Wender is also doing it. I can see working hard there. Excellent, Emily. Good job. Sally Madiba, hope you're working hard there too. All right, we got answers coming through. Somalezi also with an answer. All right, 2 minutes are up. Everyone should have an answer in front of them. All right, remember this is, you must engage. It's an active participation kind of class. Or you should have something in front of you. All right, let's see. So it's $14.99 for one dozen. You can think of it as $14.99 for 12. All right, was one dozen. There's 12. Okay, we don't have 12. We have 3. So there's 2 ways you can do this. You can think to yourself, number 1, how many 3s are there in my 12 dozen? Okay, and then I can cut my $14.99 up into that. Or you can say, what's the price for 1 egg? And then multiply by 3. You can do it that way. All right, we'll do it both ways, and I'll show you. All right. So let's say, how many 3s are there in 12? Okay, so how many 3s are there in 12? 3 out of 12. All right, that's actually a quarter. If you didn't know, but that's a quarter. So this is a quarter of the 12 dozen. So I want a quarter of my $14.99. You can think of it like that. All right, there's 3 out of 12 that I need for my recipe. So I need 1/4 for my recipe of a dozen. So what's 1/4 of $14.99? 3,7475. Which is 3,75. All right, that's one way of doing it. So saying I need 3 I've paid for 12, which is $14.99. So how much does it cost for my 3? Well, it's 3 out of 12, which is a quarter. 3 over 12 is a quarter. So what is 1/4 of $14.99? There we go, 3.75. Another way to do it is to divide your $14.99 by 12 to get a price for 1 egg per egg. All right, we can do it that way. So if we say $14.99 divided by 12, that gives us, yay, look at the decimal number. Ooh. Oh my gosh, 1,24916. 1,24916. I'm writing a few decimals here to keep accuracy. All right, this is the second method. So if that's for 1 egg, this is per egg. Then how much for 3 eggs? Well, I can just take this 1 rand, 24916 and multiply it by 3. Let's see what we get. All right, so 1,24916 times 3, 3,74748. 3,74748, which rounds up to 3,75. There we go. So both of those methods can work. All right. Good question. The question is, why can we not just divide the price for 1 dozen by 3? Okay, because when you're doing that, you're cutting the price up into thirds. All right, 3 pieces. Okay, and you don't have thirds here. You've got quarters. So the idea is correct. You know, I'm chopping my price up into parts. How many parts must I chop it up into? It's not the number of the eggs there. For example, if you had 2 eggs, okay, and you've got a dozen, you would need to chop your price up by 6, all right? Because how many 2s are there in a dozen? There's 6 2s, okay? So that fraction will be 2 over 12, which is 1/6. Okay, so that's the fraction that you need to think of. So you can cut that up, you can divide that up by 6 if you had 2 eggs. If we had 4 eggs, let's change that. If we had 4 eggs, then the fraction you need to think of is 4 out of 12, which is 1/3. Then you can divide it by 3. All right. So that's when you can divide by 3. So you don't divide by the number of eggs, you divide by the fraction that you're creating. Okay. If you're worried about, oh, which fraction do I use? Then rather use the per egg method. Work out a price for 1 egg and then multiply up to get a price for 3 eggs. That's always an easy way to do it. I've got 12 eggs at $14.99. Well, how much is it for 1 egg? This is the price for 1. Well, I've got 3. Just multiply by 3. All right. So that's another way to do it. All right, Kyle. So I hope that answers your question. Don't divide by the number you see. You got to divide by the fraction that you're working with. Okay. So this fraction that I had here, I'll move this over, is 1/4. All right, so we can say 1/4 of $14.99. If I said 1/4 of $14.99, I'll show you quickly. 1/4 of $14.99 gives me 3,75. Okay. All right. Let's move on. What's the next question? Oh, it's 4 marks. Oh, this was the one. Okay, let me bring this down. I'm just going to bring one of the calculations down. I'm not going to bring 2 of them. I'll just bring the per egg one down. You could use the other one if you want. I'll just bring the per egg answer down here, and let's have a look at the next question. Shrink it. All right. So that's question 2 in the bag. let's look at the next question. Zuleika's friend Najmi in Qatar told her that she sets her oven temperature to 330 degrees Fahrenheit to bake her eclairs. Use the following to show that her oven temperature is actually, that her oven temperature is 26 degrees Fahrenheit lower than required. Okay, so Najmi's 330 degrees Fahrenheit show that it is 26 degrees Fahrenheit lower than what this recipe needs. I'm not zoomed in. Is it too small? Guys, you must tell me if you can't see, hey? Tell me if you can't see. All right. So we've got, how many degrees does this ours need to cook at? 180. All right. So let me write it down here. So our recipe needs to cook at 180 degrees Celsius. All right. Najmi is in Qatar and they use Fahrenheit, and she's using 330 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm going to write that on the right-hand side here. Okay. So use the following formula to show that Najmi's temperature is 26 degrees Fahrenheit lower than what is needed. Okay, so we've got to compare these two. We can't compare degrees Celsius with degrees Fahrenheit. So we got to convert one of them. All right, who wants to tell me? Anybody out there can tell me what I can do here? Anybody out there? Anybody?
Somebody. I see.
Oh, there's a crickets.
No. At least we have Mohammed on the line. There we go.
Mohammed, how are you doing?
Doing okay.
All right, what should I do here?
Convert the degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit. I would say Fahrenheit because the question says she's something below Fahrenheit. So then you don't have to be changing it all the time.
Very good. Absolutely. So because they said compare and see if it's 26 degrees Fahrenheit lower, let's work in Fahrenheit. You could work in either one, but you're going to have to do a lot more changing if you go to degrees Celsius, especially if the question is suggesting Fahrenheit. So we go to Fahrenheit. All right. So what do I do? So I'll say a degrees F equals what?
Fahrenheit equals 1.8 degrees Celsius.
180 degrees Celsius plus 32. All right, so that gives me on the calculator 1.8 times 180 plus 32. 356, so 356 degrees Fahrenheit. Now the question says use the following formula to show that her oven temperature is 26 degrees Fahrenheit lower. All right, so we've got Fahrenheit and Fahrenheit now. So I know you guys.
330.
Yes, excellent, Mohammed. So I know you guys can see it. I know you can see that 356 is 26 more than 330, but you got to pretend that the marker doesn't know. So you're going to show the marker. Look here. If I say 356 minus 330, you will get 26 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so pretend the marker doesn't know. Mohammed, thank you very much. Good job. Well done. Okay, so we had to pick Fahrenheit. We worked in Fahrenheit and we compared the two. When you compare, you're subtracting. And yes, it is 26 degrees Fahrenheit lower. All right, what else they got? This is not too bad. 6 marks. Whoa, does that mean it's difficult? When you see a 6-mark question, hey, does that mean it's difficult? Let's see. Zuleika has a large order for 9 batches of eclairs that should be ready at 7:30 p.m. Okay. She claims that if she starts at 9:15, now they didn't put AM or PM. The order will be ready. Verify with the necessary calculations whether this is valid or not. So she starts at 9:15. She makes 9 batches. Will she be ready for 7:30. All right. So let's see, how long does it take to cook a batch? Oh, there we go. They say a batch cooks for 45 minutes. One batch is 45 minutes. All right, one batch is 45 minutes. Let me write that here. And we need 9 batches. The question says 9 batches. All right, guys, I need somebody. Where's Luzo? I saw Luzo put their hand up earlier. Luzo, don't you want to help me with this one? Luzo, are you out there? Luzu, 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 you there? Luzu, cause are you there? You had your hand up earlier. Don't you want to help me with this question? No? Yes?
So
You there?
it's Mohammed again.
Oh, it's Mohammed again. All right, Mohammed.
So what we can do, we can say 45 minutes times 9 batches will give us 400 and something. I forgot what it is. I checked on the calculator.
405.
So
minutes.
isn't on the calculator there's that option into minutes that where you press shift in at one place
Which button now?
next to hype HYP.
Yeah,
So
this one.
press shift.
This one
No.
with the degrees, minutes,
Yes,
seconds. Okay. We could use that. We could use that, or we could just say, what is 405? How many hours can we get? How many minutes in an hour?
Divide by 60.
Yeah, we could just say divide by 60. Okay, so let's say divide by
It's
60.
1.75.
6.75. That's it. So
Yes.
it's all
So
right. No problem. So divide by 60 gives me 6.75 hours. Now, the problem with this is this decimal. So with this method here, we're getting decimal hours, and that's not 75 minutes. That's 0.75 of an hour. All right, just be careful of that. So the better way to do this is to say, how many hours are there in 405? We can see here that there are 6 hours. Okay, so let's work with that first. So we know we've got 6 hours. Okay, the question is, how many minutes do we have left? Well, if we say 6 hours times 60, that's 360 minutes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say 405 minus the 6 hours, which is 360 minutes, and that'll give us however many minutes we've
45.
got left. Yeah,
Will give us
so we got
45.
6 hours and
45 minutes.
minutes. Okay, so
So
be careful.
The 9
So-
is in AM because they give the other. It's gonna finish at PM.
Yeah, it must be AM because it's going to finish after that. So 9:15, let's do it here. So 9:15 AM plus 6 hours and 45 minutes. Okay, gives us what? If you take 6 hours onto 9, all right, from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock or 12
It's gonna
noon.
be finish at 4.
Yeah. All right, that's
4
yeah. So that's 3 hours, and then we're going from 12. Another 3, so that'll give us to 3 o'clock. Yes. Plus we've got 15 minutes and 45 minutes, which is another hour. So yeah, that'll take us to exactly
4 PM.
if we use, we can either say 4 p.m. or we can say 1600 hours. Or
But they're using the 12-hour, so we're gonna put it in 12 for them also.
yeah, so they're using 7:30 p.m. So this one over here on the right hand side is probably the best one here. All right. Okay. Are we all good with that? Mohammed, thank you. That was brilliant. Good job. Good job.
Okay,
Are we
sir.
all good with that? Are we all good with that? Everyone, any questions? Anyone out there thinking what is going on? Please don't forget, raise your hand. Like Kia always says, speak now, don't hold your peace. Speak. No conundrums. All right, I think that's a good thing. That sounds like a good thing. Nicholas, thank you. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you asking what's going on here. All right, Nicholas. Where's Nicholas? Nicholas, my friend, come online here and tell me which parts is a little bit confusing. Was the whole thing confusing? Check your screen there, Nicholas. Check your screen. You should see a little option to unmute. Do you want to come online and ask, or you can type it in chat? Nicholas, you there?
Yes, sir.
Nicholas, which part is a little confusing? Was the whole thing like, what is going on here?
So I'm just lost from the beginning, so how it starts.
Okay, let's have a look. All right, I'll walk you through it again. So, first of all, this information comes from the recipe. One batch takes 45 minutes. You with me?
Yes.
Okay, so we need to know if the person does 9 batches, how long will that take? So what we did was we said 45 minutes times 9, which is a total of 405 minutes. You with me?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we want to know how many hours is in 405 minutes, because we're starting at 9:15, and we need to go and check if 7:30, if we'll get to 7:30. So we've got to add hours on. So we're going to add hours and minutes on. So what we're going to do is work out how many hours is 405 minutes. So what we did was we divided by 60. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that cuts the minutes up into 60-minute pieces, which is 1 hour. And we saw that there are 6 hours here and some change. You with me?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we know we've got 6 hours. The question is, how many minutes do we have? So what I did was I did a little calculation. I said, we've got 6 hours and each one is 60. That means that's 360 minutes, yes?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is say, I've got 405 minutes. I know I've got 6 hours in there. Let's take the 6 hours out. So what I did was I removed the 6 hours from the 405 minutes, and that left me with 45 minutes. Okay, so it's the 0.75 that you see over here is 45 minutes of an hour. So 0.75 is like 3/4. So it's 3/4 of an hour. All right. So this little step here where I have I've taken my 360 and subtracted it from the 405. I'm taking all my whole hours out and seeing how many minutes I've got left behind. You with me?
Yeah.
All right. Then I said we've got 6 hours and 45 minutes. All right. Then I'm going to add my 6 hours and 45 minutes to my starting time from the question, which is 9:15 a.m. All right. Now, think about it like this. Let's first add on 6 hours to 9 o'clock, okay? So at the top here, I wrote a little thing that comes from my head. I said from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock is 3 hours. And from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock is another 3 hours. That's 6 hours we've covered, yes?
Yes.
So that should take us to 3 p.m. But now we got to take care of the minutes, okay? So now we look at the minutes. And we're saying we've got 15 minutes to start with, and we had another 45 onto that. 15 and 45 makes another hour, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
So instead of 3 p.m., we got to move up another hour. So if we did it, if we did 6 hours exactly, and just added the 6 hours onto 9:15. So watch here. So if I said 9:15 plus 6 hours only, this would take us to 3:15 p.m. Okay, but I've still got the 45 minutes I need to add on. So 3:15 p.m. plus the 45
Yes.
minutes will take us to exactly 4 p.m. You with me?
Yes, sir.
All right, awesome. Thank you for asking that question. Safiso. Thank you, Nicholas. Safiso, you there?
Good day, sir. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm good, thanks. I'm a bit confused. Like, what would happen if we use the time key? Will we get like lesser marks because it's like a shortcut kind of thing?
No, you won't. I mean, I'm doing a lot of calculations here for this. So,
Yes, because we get straight to the point and then we get the answer, sir, the same answer.
okay, tell me, walk us through it.
Oh, so I said what you call it? 0 hours point 0 hours. So I said 0 and then I pressed the time key.
Yeah,
0 hours, press the time key plus 40. Not plus. And then we said 45 time key again.
yeah,
And then it said times 9,
yeah.
which gave us the answer.
6 hours 45. Good.
Yes,
So
sir. And then
that's in. Sorry to interrupt you there. So if we look at the screen there, that's in hours and minutes.
that's
Whereas,
in seconds. The 0 is seconds.
yeah, whereas I've
Yes,
shown
sir.
it here as decimal hours. So Safiso was saying, sir, keep it hours and minutes the whole way. All right, cool. So we got 6 hours 45. Yes.
And then I took the 9 hour. I said 9. I said plus 9 hours point 15, and then I pressed the equal button. Then it gave me 16.
All right. So there's 9 hours 15 plus 6 hours 45.
45 minutes.
Whoopsie.
No, you have to
We have
press
to
the
put
time.
seconds in there. We have to put
Ye-
seconds in, don't we?
No, so you have to press the time key and then you say equals. It's fine.
All right. Let me just put the seconds in just think. Oh, there we go. That's I missed that little time key press there. Yeah, that's fine.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
All right, let's put in seconds and see if it makes a difference anyway. Ah, there we go. All
Yes,
right.
sir.
So that'll take us to 16 hours, 0 minutes. All right. Good. So the time button, if you know how to use it well, is really quick and easy. Fantastic. Your question was, sir, will they reduce the marks if we use the time button? Well, let's see what part of this will be removed. So we can remove this and this and this. Let's just take all this away and see if this is all, if what's left behind is 6 marks worth. All right, so we've got 45 minutes times 9 using the time key, and that gave us 6 hours and 45 minutes. And then we can go straight down to taking 6 hours and 45 minutes and adding it onto 9:15. We don't need all this. We don't need all that. And that'll go straight to the answer of 16 p.m. All right, so the question is, if I use the time button, can I not get my 6 marks for that? Well, we are missing one more step. It says verify whether her statement is valid or not. And the question said that will she be ready by 7 p.m.? So let me just delete all this. So we need to write here a little statement at the end to say, yes, she will be ready. Does it say verify whether her statement is valid? Because it says that she should be ready. So her statement is valid. She will be ready. All right, so 6 marks worth. Yeah, I think they'll award you the 6 marks. I think you probably have 1 mark for the statement, final statement, 1 mark for the answer there, a method mark for adding those 2 up, and I think 2 marks in here for converting the 45 minutes times 9, or a method mark over here on that. Yeah, there's 6. There should be 6 marks there. Definitely sufficient. So go for it. Just be careful, guys. If you know how to use the time button, go for it. I'll show you again how to do it one more time. Okay, so 45 button. Now it looks like the same thing. I'm going to times it by 9 here. Let me see. So that's hours. You got to put in minutes. So it's 0 hours, 45 minutes. I don't think you need seconds. Times it by 9. There we go. All right. So you've got to put in 0 hours first and then 45 minutes second. And if you times by 9, that'll give you 6 hours and 45 minutes. And then we add this to 9 hours, 45 minutes. Ooh, 44. All right, let's do it the long way. So let's say 9:15, 9 hours. Oh, it was 15. Hey, 9:15 plus 6 hours, 45 minutes. Keep on doing that. There we go. All right, there we go. So yeah, if you can use that time button properly, go for it. Yeah, Tana. So then the instruction on the front of the exam is to make sure to show all calculations to get your marks. All right. So we're doing a lot of stuff on the calculator here, and everything that you do on the calculator you should show. So this part here, 45 minutes times 9 to get this came off the calculator. So write it down. You write 45 minutes times 9, and then you write the answer from the calculator. Then you write again on your calculator 9:15 plus 6 hours 47. So this whole step can be written on the calculator, but write it in your exam as well. And this comes down from the calculator as well. So you are showing pretty much all your steps. It's fine. My calculation when I did it was just to find out from a 405 minutes, how do we get hours and minutes? When the calculator does it for you, you paid money for this thing. Let it do the job for you. Use it if you can, but just make sure that you know how to use that time button. Are we good? We all good? Take it up to number 3. There we go. That's number 3, Olivia. Any questions about this question? Question 4 and the time? All right, moving on. Let's see what else they have for us. Oh. A bus left Queenstown. Awesome, we can practice this time button even more. A bus left Queenstown at 8:15 on a Saturday evening to Cape Town. The bus stopped 8 times along the journey, and each stop lasted 30 minutes for passengers to refresh. The total time for the journey was 13 hours and 45 minutes. Calculate the total stopping time in minutes the passengers spent refreshing. So calculate the total stopping time in minutes. Let's use the time button so we can practice the skill. So there's 8 times we stopped, all right, which comes from the question. And each one lasted 30 minutes. All right, write it down. We don't even need to convert this to hours and minutes. So we don't even need to use the time button here. We'll just say 8 times 30 because we need it in minutes. So it's 240 minutes. By the way, if you want to know how many hours and minutes that was, you can use the time button like this. So 8 times 0 hours, oopsie, 0 hours and 30 minutes. So that'll show you how many hours and minutes you have, which is 4. 240 minutes is 4 hours. Okay, but they just want to know how many minutes. Calculate the total stopping time in minutes. We got that. Thank you. I'll take 2 marks. Next question. Determine the time the bus arrived in Cape Town. Now, the total time of the journey was 13 hours, 45 minutes. So we don't even need to worry about the stoppage time because the total time for the journey is given to us. This is how long it took. It obviously includes the stopping time. The total time for the journey. To me, that includes everything. All right. It's 13 hours and 45 minutes. So now we need to work out the time the bus arrived in Cape Town. Okay, anybody? Last question of the night. Somebody?
Anybody for the last time tonight?
For the last time tonight. Anybody? Crickets. You guys, please don't make me do this. Somebody.
So please
Tando to the
repeat the question.
rescue.
A Tando, 13 times 40, 13 times 40, 1345 equals 585. So Tando, this 13 and 45 is 13 hours and 45 minutes. That's a total time. It could have been 13 hours, but it's 13 hours and some minutes. And when we get the time and the answer here, we need it in, like you see this time here at 2015, 8:15. That's the time that they're looking for there. Emily's already got an answer there. Mohammed, you're online.
Yes, sir.
All right. What do we do?
What I would have said is 240 minutes divided by 6, which is going to give us 4 hours. It's 4 hours of stopping time.
Yeah, I see what you're doing there. But now this is my question. This is what I'm confused with, because it says here the total time for the journey. Does that include stoppages?
Yeah, they're not saying that.
Well, it says the total time for the journey was 13 hours and 45. They're not saying that the total time of traveling is 13 hours and 45. They're saying the total time for the journey is 13 hours and 45. And for 2 marks, do they want us to actually add on stoppage time? See, if this was 13 hours of driving, then I would add on stoppage time to see what time they get there. But if they say the total time for the journey was 13 hours 45, to me, that's saying the time from when they started and the time to when they get there took 13 hours 45, including the stoppages. You see what I mean?
Yeah, but so also the question repeated, calculate the total stopping time in minutes the passenger spent on refreshing. So you just need to say 8 times 30, and the answer is 240 minutes. That's the answer for 2 marks.
Yeah, for question 1. And then question 2, determine the time that they arrived in Cape Town. Are you saying we need to add this stoppage time on to the 13 hours 45?
The total time for the journey was,
Yeah,
was is a big time.
Yeah. So I think the fact that they're saying the total time for the journey was 13 hours 45, I think that's including the stoppage, right? That's how I interpret it. So I don't think we need to add on the stoppage time. I think that's included in the 13 hours and 45. And for 2 marks, I think we just need to work out 13 hours and 45 minutes of travel. What time does that take you to? I think that's what they mean here. So 2015. All right. Let's add on the hours first. 13 hours. Where does that get us? Ladies and gents, you start at 8:15, you do 13 hours. We'll deal with the minutes just now. You do 13 hours of travel. Where does that take you? To what time? Anybody? Well, what's 2015 plus 12 hours? At 8:15 in the evening, 12 hours later, where does that get you? That gets you to 8 in the morning, doesn't it? But we don't have 12 hours. We've got 13. So that should take us to 9 o'clock in the morning. All right, AM. Okay. But we still got to add on the 45 minutes because it was 13 hours and 45 minutes. So 9:15 plus another 45 minutes takes us to 10 o'clock in the morning. All right, for 2 marks, I think that's all they're wanting. All right.